Mississippi is in shock because in the past 24 hours, two men were found hanging from trees in different parts of the state. The eerie similarity of these tragedies has sparked grief, outrage, and a wave of suspicion that is spreading far beyond the Deep South. And yet, mainstream media and major media organizations have not touched this story. And a lot of people are asking one question: why? Why won't the media cover the story of two men found hanging from a tree in Mississippi, two cases that aren't connected, at least from first glance, but cases that have gripped a Mississippi community, changing these communities forever? Two deaths, one state, and countless of questions. And that's why I'm going to cover this story for you today. The first tragedy stuck at Delta State University in Cleveland, Mississippi. Early yesterday morning, at about 7 o'clock, campus police discovered the body of a 21-year-old man named Trey Reed. His body was hanging from a tree near the pickleball courts on campus. For a college campus, this was devastating. Students woke up to police cars, sirens, and whispers. The university was supposed to be celebrating its centennial that very week. Instead, all celebrations have been canceled this week. Classes have been suspended. Counseling services were made available immediately. The mood shifted from joy to celebration for the centennial to grief in a matter of hours. University Police Chief Michael Peeler told reporters that, at least at this stage, no evidence of foul play had been discovered. The body was in the hands of the coroner and state investigators, but official statements did little to calm the public. On social media, anger has erupted. Posts have begun to spread wildly and rapidly, claiming that Trey's body showed signs of physical abuse, even broken limbs. Some messages went viral questioning how such injuries could line up with a suicide. One post read, "Tell me, Trey Reed was found beaten with 3 broken limbs. What kind of suicide is that?" Whether these claims are accurate or not, they've struck a nerve, and rightfully so, because the internet right now is filled with disbelief, heartbreak, and rage over a story that mainstream media refuses to touch. Trey was a young man full of potential with his whole life ahead of him. He was a son, a friend, a student, and he has gone far too soon. But that's not the only tragedy that struck Mississippi over the past 24 hours. In Vicksburg, Mississippi, just hours earlier, another body was found yesterday. Around 10:30 that yesterday morning, in a wooded area near the Ameristar Casino Trail, police discovered the body of 36-year-old Cory Zucatis. He, too, had been hanging from a tree. Cory was homeless, and little is known about his final days right now. The Warren County coroner confirmed his death, but has since released few details. Like with Trey, authorities are still investigating this cause of death. But when you look at the bigger picture, timing is chilling. Two men, two very different lives, two completely separate cities, both found hanging in the same state on the same day. That alone has been enough to fuel suspicion, and suspicion is exactly what has erupted across all corners of the internet. Online, people have been quick to draw connections, whether authorities want them to or not. Among these commentators, many people are asking significant questions as to what happened, why authorities were so quick to say that no foul play was involved, and why isn't mainstream media covering it? For many, the idea that two men could die in such similar ways in a state with such a deeply painful history, and that both could simply be written off as possible suicides, felt unacceptable. And that history, folks, is impossible to ignore, because Mississippi is a place haunted by the legacy of lynchings. For generations, Black men in particular were targets of racist mobs. Trees became sites of terror, places where families were torn apart and communities were traumatized. Those memories, well, they don't fade, and they don't fade easily. So when modern tragedies look too similar to the horrors of the past, people question, and justifiably so. They protest, they grieve, and they grieve loudly. And many simply do not trust quick conclusions. Now, authorities say there is no immediate threat to the public, but skepticism remains high because for many, the past is not just history, it's a shadow that lingers in the present. For Trey's peers at Delta State University, this loss will cut deeply. They've lost a friend, a classmate, someone who had decades ahead of him. His death has left, I'm sure, classmates and professors stunned and his family heartbroken. And for Cory, a man who lived on the margins of society, the tragedy feels like a double loss. His life ended in obscurity, and now his death is being spoken about quietly, with little outrage, little recognition. His story risks of being forgotten. Together, their deaths create a grim portrait of grief in Mississippi today, a state where personal trauma collides with communal trauma, a place where history refuses to stay buried. As investigations continue, families mourn in private while the public mourns loudly on social media, demanding answers, not just from local authorities, but from the media that refuses to touch this story. Why? Why won't the media touch this story? And the impact of this story, it's already being felt not just across Mississippi, but across the country, and it is undeniable because 2 lives have ended, 2 families have been shattered, and a state is now searching for answers. Right now, the only thing that we know for certain is this: these deaths will not be forgotten, and Mississippi will once again have to confront its past and its present. Right now, we are getting more information with each passing hour into Trey's death and Cory's death. We're going to learn more information over the coming days and weeks to come. But ultimately, it is the job of media to ask questions, to report on these stories, especially when they don't always seem so cut and dry, and to do the investigative work to get to the truth, to calm 2 communities now that have been struck with tragedies, communities that should have never experienced this tragedy. When we get more information, I will let you know. This story is obviously developing, so spread the word, and I'll see you soon. Hey folks, Aaron Parnas here. Thank you so much for watching The Parnas Perspective. Please consider subscribing to support our work as we grow this independent news media entity into something that rivals mainstream every single day. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon.